I'm from Group 36. Our project is mobile offloading. We have developed two applications. One would act as a master and other would act as a slave. We have installed slave application on 3 devices and master application on 1 device. So now we have 3 slave devices. Each device is shown with its current battery percentage and also current location coordinates of all the device is displayed. The application uses Bluetooth for connecting the master and slave devices. Now we would allow slave device to advertise themselves to the master node so that they can connect with the master node. So status text is changed to started advertising. Now we would discover nearby devices from the master node. Now clicking on the discover nearby devices in the master application. This will send an pop-up to the slave devices. Do you want to let master monitor the battery level? We can accept or reject it. We can see in the status message that the connection is successful with all the slave devices. Now we would go for the matrix multiplication. We have taken two square matrices. For matrix A, we have taken 3 cross 3, and for matrix B also we have taken 3 cross 3 matrix. Entering the values of the matrix A, entering the values for the matrix B. Now calculating the matrix multiplication on the slave devices. We can see in the slave devices that the power consumption of the slave device one is 19.21 mAh and on the other slave devices is 15 mAh and 40 mAh. And all these results are sent to the master node. So we can see here that the battery percentage is also shown of all the slave devices, and this is the result which we got from the slave devices, and the execution time is 228 milliseconds. Now we are showing matrix multiplication on the master device. We have taken matrix A of 3 cross 3 and matrix B of 3 cross 3. Now clicking on the matrix multiplication on master, we have got the results. Power consumption for the master is 36.23 mAh and time taken is 356 milliseconds. Result of matrix multiplication for the master device is also shown here. We can see that the time consumed by the slave devices is less than the time consumed by the master device. Even power consumption is also more for the master device. We are going to display the failure of a slave device. We have connected all the slave devices with the master device. Now again we will perform the matrix multiplication. So taking matrix A and matrix B of same size, entering the values, and the master device will send this matrix only to the connected slave devices. So now let's turn off the Bluetooth of a slave device to disconnect it from the master node. So we have turned off the Bluetooth of a slave device. So now we would click on the matrix multiplication on the slave, and here we can see that the power consumption on the slave devices which was disconnected is 0.0 mAh, and the power consumption on the other two slave devices is not zero. For one slave device it's 6 mAh and for the other is it's 11 mAh. In the master application we can see that the computation results are received from slave 2 and slave 3 only. Finally, we are demonstrating the location monitoring of the slave devices by the master device. We have set a minimum distance of 20 meters. If the distance between the slave and the master device is within the minimum distance, then the slave device would remain connected, otherwise it would get disconnected. Location of the slave devices is updated every 10 seconds. In here you can see that two slave devices got disconnected because of a small change in location points, which increased the distance between the master device and the slave device. Status of the disconnected device is shown in the master application.